They scan all the cards, and then they hand me the little machine, and I tap my card to it, and then it says, "Do you want to leave a tip?" And I looked at the person, I looked at the machine, I looked at the person, I looked at the machine, and I'm like, since when did we ever start tipping for somebody scanning gift cards? At that point, I was like, I am done with tipping culture. Good morning, outliers. Welcome back to Outlier Live, where we cover the biggest headlines of the day and what the AI trading data has to say about it. Our top story of the day is Trump encouraging voters to write no tax on tips on restaurant receipts. Trump said restaurant workers, hotel workers, and caddies would most benefit from his proposal. Of course, Trump is out there trying to drum up as many votes as he can leading up into the election this fall. And I got to say, this is a pretty controversial take here. Um, Now, tipping culture has been a big deal, right? Across all the United States, we've heard over and over and over again about how tipping culture has gotten out of control. And one thing that I have decided as my own personal rule for tipping culture is this: would I tip for this service using cash? If not, I'm not going to hit the leave a tip button, right? I'll give you a perfect example of this where I thought was the most egregious form of abusive tipping practices I've ever come across. For Christmas time, my son was getting Starbucks gift cards for all of his teachers, his middle school teachers, and so he's got 7 teachers, and so I go through the drive-through. I say I need 7 gift cards, 7 $10 gift cards for the teachers, and they scan all the cards, and then they hand me the little machine, and I tap my card to it, and then it says, "Do you want to leave a tip?" And I looked at the person, I looked at the machine, I looked at the person, I looked at the machine, and I'm like, since when did we ever start tipping for somebody scanning gift cards? At that point, I was like, I am done with tipping culture because it was like, it wasn't much. It was like a dollar, 10%, whatever. And I'm like, no, absolutely, just flat no. I am done with tipping culture. So here's my rule: if you wouldn't tip with cash, don't feel pressured to tip on the card. I'm just gonna leave it there. Now, during COVID, I used to be the biggest tipper, right? Because I knew those people during COVID in 2020, 2021 really needed as much help as they possibly could. So I was tipping overkill. I mean, I'm tipping, $50 on a $70 check. I'm tipping $10 for you to hand me my drink at Sonic, at not Sonic. Yeah, maybe at Sonic too. Yeah. At Sonic and at Starbucks. Um, but at this point in 2024, tipping culture went the opposite direction. It went from, hey, I'm going to do something nice for you because I can, to I am over you trying to extort me every chance that you get with tipping culture. I'm over this. So, Trump is saying he wants his voters to write no tax on tips on restaurant receipts. Let's take a look further on this, right? President Trump encourages voters to write on restaurant receipts to spread the word of his proposal to eliminate taxes on tips. Trump made the remark at an event celebrating his 78th birthday. Restaurant workers, hospitality workers, and anyone else that gets tips would benefit from this. No tax on tips. Okay, it's done. Done. We need to spread the word so that every time you leave a tip for the next 5 months, you put on a receipt, vote for Trump because there's no tax on tips. Now, I don't know what the tax structure on tips. I've never had a position where I needed to do that. So in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on this. I've announced that I've eliminated taxes on tips for restaurant workers and hospitality workers and anyone who relies on tips. No more taxes on tips. None. I can imagine for somebody who makes their living on tips that this is a really big deal. I mean, could you imagine if 70, 80, 90+% of your income comes from tips and you don't pay any tax on that? Um, I for one would be super, super stoked on this, right? I would love to get 70, 80, 90% of my income not taxed at all. And I think with enough word of mouth, that's going to spread like wildfire, wildfire. But let me know in the comments down below. Do you feel like this is actually a great strategy, or is this going to backfire in some way? I don't know. I'm very curious to hear your opinions. But I want to take a look at one stock, Blooming Brands Inc. Bloomin' Brands Inc. Okay, this is a stock I had actually never even heard of until today. Bloomin' Brands Inc. Covers things like Outback Steakhouse, right? I've been going to Outback Steakhouse for ages and ages and ages, as long as I remember. And I tell you what, one of the things I love to get there is the salad with the blue cheese and the I don't know what they do to the nuts on there, but they're like sweet nuts. Man, that's just such a good salad. But we've seen their stock price go from a high of around $30, just shy of $30 in March, and now it's been on a downside, especially since we got a recent sell signal. Been on a downside down to as low as $18. So, I mean, we've wiped off about a third of value over the last few months here. So this stock is definitely not looking so hot lately. But for restaurant workers at somewhere like this could be a great boom for them, for those working at Bloomin' Brands, right? We take a look at the historical performance for Outlier here. 20.28% returns, not too shabby, especially when buy and hold. Buy and hold's down 13% returns. So that's not too great on buy and hold. But you know what? Whenever you can have a positive expectancy following buy and sell signals as easy as this, that's a pretty good spot to be in, right? Also, I want to send you free daily AI trades, an email that looks exactly like this. It's super easy. All you got to do is go to freeaitrades.com and you'll get a daily email just like this one sent from me with my own personal picks. Free AI signals like that, freeaitrades.com. Now let's go see what the internet has to say about this. You've been served. Trump gets huge ovation as he urges voters to write vote for Trump, no tax on tips on restaurant receipts. The former president has vowed to make tips tax exempt in an effort to help service and hospitality workers. I'm very curious about this, right? This is a big portion of the economy for a lot of people. How does that really work? Real men tip in cash anyhow. Fat and pathetic. Russian Republican, give me a break. We've all seen that is proven completely false. Uh, this person says, what a loser. This person says, President Biden's budget proposal calls for an increase in capital gains tax up to 44%, be the highest capital gain tax in the U.S. has ever seen. Oh, man. This person says this was a good one. And this one says, because he needs Nevada. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you think this is a good plan? Or do you think that this is just going to not materialize into anything at all? I'm very curious. And do me a favor, click one of these two videos up above. The YouTube algorithm gods think that you're going to like one of these. And thank you so much for tuning in today's Outlier Live. I'll see you in the next episode.